welcome back today. In this video, we are diving into the world of Washington quarter dollars, specifically those rare gems that are worth big money in today's market. From unique errors to highly sought-after dates and mint marks, let's explore which Washington quarters are truly worth a fortune. Let's get started. First up, before we dive into its value, let's talk a bit about the history of the 1965 Washington quarter. This year marked a turning point in U.S. coinage. Due to the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint transitioned from 90% silver coins to copper-nickel-clad coins for dimes and quarters. This shift aimed to ensure there was enough coinage for circulation while keeping production costs low. Interestingly, no mint marks were used on quarters in 1965, 1966, and 1967. This decision was made to prevent hoarding of coins during this period of transition. So, if you find a 1965 quarter without a mint mark, don't be alarmed. It's completely normal for this year. The 1965 Washington quarter features a classic design. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The reverse showcases the American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. This iconic design has made the Washington quarter a favorite among collectors. Now, you might be wondering what makes a 1965 Washington quarter valuable. While billions of these coins were minted, certain factors can significantly increase their value. One of the most sought-after varieties is the 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet. This rare error occurred because a few leftover silver planchets from 1964 were accidentally used during production. These coins weigh about 6.25 grams, compared to the standard 5.67 grams for copper-nickel-clad quarters. If you suspect you have one, weigh it to confirm. Even in circulated condition, a well-preserved 1965 quarter can fetch a premium, especially if it exhibits sharp details and minimal wear. Quarters with unusual or attractive toning caused by environmental exposure can also command higher prices among collectors. Now, let's talk about market value. A 1965 Washington quarter in very fine condition, or VF20, typically shows moderate wear on the high points of the design, but retains all major details. In today's market, these coins are valued between $355,000, depending on eye appeal and demand value. However, if you're lucky enough to own a 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet, you're looking at a potential value of $700,000 or more, depending on its condition and certification. So, there you have it. The 1965 Washington quarter may not seem extraordinary at first glance, but its history, potential errors, and collector interest make it a coin worth investigating. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner, keep an eye out for these hidden treasures in your collection or spare change. Next up, the Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This iconic design has endured over the decades and remains one of the most recognizable U.S. coins. By the 1980s, the coin was firmly a part of everyday circulation. In 1983, the U.S. Mint produced over 800 million Washington quarters, with the P Mint mark representing the Philadelphia Mint, which is one of the largest producers of U.S. coins. So, with such a large mintage, why would a 1983 Washington quarter with a P Mint mark in very good condition be considered rare and valuable? To start, let's talk about coin grading. When a coin is described as being in very good condition, it means it has been used in circulation but still retains important details. In this case, the Washington quarter shows wear, but you can still make out the basic features like George Washington's profile, the Liberty inscription, and the year 1983. The coin has lost some of its original luster, but it's still recognizable. Now, here's where things get interesting. Even though millions of 1983 quarters were produced, not all of them have survived in good condition. Over time, many coins from this era have suffered from wear and damage, leaving only a small percentage in decent shape. The 1983 quarter with the P mint mark in very good condition stands out because in the world of coin collecting, surviving coins from high circulation years are always in demand. Although the 1983 Washington quarter was produced in large numbers, coins like these become rare over time due to wear and tear. Coins that remain in very good condition, as opposed to heavily worn or damaged examples, have more demand among collectors who seek pieces in reasonable shape for their collections. On top of that, market trends play a huge role in determining a coin's value. In recent years, the demand for high-quality quarters, particularly those from the 1980s, has seen a spike as more collectors focus on filling gaps in their collections. The scarcity of the 1983 Washington quarter in very good condition, combined with its appeal as a relatively modern coin, makes it a sought set of piece. So, what's the market value for a 1983 Washington quarter with the P mint mark in very good condition? The value can vary, but generally these coins can fetch anywhere from $170,000 in today's market. However, if you come across a 1983 Washington quarter that has been well preserved and graded as very good by professional coin grading services, it can easily fetch higher amounts, especially if it's part of a rare find or comes with a provenance that adds to its history. In some cases, especially if there is less availability in the market, or if the coin has some unique feature like an error or rare die variation, prices can go much higher. Coin collectors who actively search for Washington quarters in better condition are willing to pay a premium for such coins. Looking to find a 1983 Washington quarter in very good condition? It's all about keeping your eyes peeled. Look through rolls of quarters, search your pocket change, and check coin shops for any collections that might have these older coins. Make sure to carefully inspect each quarter for any signs of wear or damage that could affect its value. If you're serious about adding this coin to your collection, consider visiting local coin dealers or online auction sites where you might find higher quality examples. And, of course, getting coins professionally graded can add even more value, as a certified grade assures potential buyers of the coin's condition. Next up, the 1972 Washington quarter dollar is part of a series that has captured the attention of numismatists for decades. Produced by the US Mint, the Washington quarter features the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, we see an eagle perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. But what makes the 1972 Washington quarter truly interesting, especially the version without a mint mark, is its rarity and the fact that it was produced during a period of significant coinage changes. First, let's talk about the mint marks. Normally, you'll find Washington quarters with mint marks of D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the 1972 Washington quarter with no mint mark is particularly rare because it was produced in Philadelphia, and while the Philadelphia Mint does mint coins without a mint mark, this particular year has a lower than usual mintage compared to others, which adds to its allure. Now, when we talk about condition, we're referring to something very important for coin collectors: extra fine condition. What does that mean? An extra fine coin has very minimal wear and retains much of its original detail. You'll see sharp features on Washington's face, the eagle's feathers, and the design elements on the reverse. Extra fine condition. But you may notice just a slight amount of wear from circulation. These coins were once in active circulation, but have been well preserved over the years, making them rare to find in such good condition. Up to 50 emergency contacts. But when it comes to grading, extra fine is one step below uncirculated. So, an extra fine 1972 Washington quarter is much more desirable to collectors than one in, say, a good or fine condition. The better the grade, the more the coin is worth. And in this case, the 1972 Washington quarter, without a mint mark in extra fine condition, has significant market value. Now let's talk numbers. While the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark might not have a huge premium compared to some other rare coins, it still carries a respectable value. A 1972 Washington quarter in extra fine condition can range from around $60,000, depending on its exact condition and demand. However, if you happen to find a 1972 quarter in near-perfect extra fine or better condition, you could see values climbing into the $90,000 range, sometimes even higher, especially if it's from a specialized collection or if it has been certified by professional grading services. Graded coins, like this one, which has been certified by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or the Professional Coin Grading Service, are often valued higher than raw coins because they come with a guarantee of their authenticity and condition. If your coin has a high grade, especially an extra fine or better grade, it can fetch even more at auctions or in private sales. And here's where it gets even more exciting. When rare coins like the 1972 Washington quarter are sold at auctions or through reputable dealers, you can sometimes see the value soar beyond the typical market estimates. A bidding war at a collector's auction could result in prices that far exceed the usual price range, especially if the coin is in exceptional condition or part of a rare batch. So, if you have a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition, it's definitely worth checking its value. While it's not as rare or as valuable as some other coins, it's still a piece of history that can bring in a nice profit, especially if it's well preserved. And remember, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. What may seem like a common coin could be hiding a bigger value than you might expect. To recap, the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark is a rare coin with a lower than usual mintage. In extra fine condition, it's a valuable addition to any collection, with a potential market value ranging from $70,000 depending on the exact condition and demand. If you're lucky enough to find one, or if you already have one in your collection, it might just be time to check its value. Next up, Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, and by 1971, it had been a staple of American coinage for nearly 4 decades. The coin features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the front, and the back displays an eagle in flight, clutching an olive branch and arrows, with the words "Ae Pluribus Unum" and United States of America. But today we're focusing specifically on the 1971 version with the D mint mark. So, what's the deal with the D mint mark? The D signifies that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, which is one of the 3 US mints responsible for producing coinage. Coins with a D mint mark are common, but some years and conditions make them more desirable and valuable than others. Now let's talk about condition. The 1971 Washington quarter in circulation, especially in extra fine condition, is relatively rare. Extra fine quarters show very minimal wear, with sharp details visible, especially in Washington's hair and the feathers on the eagle. They still retain most of their original mint luster, making them much more attractive to collectors compared to coins with heavy wear and scratches. So how much is this coin worth? In average circulation condition, a 1971 Washington quarter with the D mint mark may be worth around $170,000, but in extra fine condition, its value increases significantly. A well-preserved example can fetch anywhere from $200,000. But wait, if you've got a 1971 Washington quarter in absolutely pristine condition, it could be worth even more. Coins that are graded at a higher level, like uncirculated or mint state, can push the value even further, especially if it's one of those rarer, higher-grade finds. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with unique characteristics. With the 1971 Washington quarter, any small imperfections or unique features could influence its price. Some collectors even seek out coins with certain die varieties or other noticeable details, which could elevate the value of your coin. Market trends can fluctuate, and the demand for specific coins, like the 1971 Washington quarter, can change based on collectors' interest, rarity, and the overall state of the coin market. But one thing's for sure, this quarter, especially in extra fine condition, remains an appealing piece for anyone building a collection of US quarters. Over the years, the Washington quarter has seen several redesigns, but the 1971 version remains a significant part of US numismatic history. With the possibility of finding it in circulation or as part of your collection, it's a coin that can surprise you with its value. Remember, the value of a coin can vary depending on its condition and rarity, so always check for those subtle details before you decide to part with it. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coins like the 1971 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark can hold surprising value in today's market. Next up, today we're diving into a fascinating coin from the 1987 Washington quarter, with the P Mint mark in extra fine condition. This particular quarter is more than just a piece of pocket change. It's a rare gem in today's coin market with a significant value. But what makes it so special? Let's find out. Now, when we think about the Washington quarter, most of us picture the standard designs that have been minted for decades. However, certain years and conditions make some of these quarters stand out, and the 1987 Washington quarter is a prime example. Before we focus on the 1987 quarter, let's take a quick look at the history of this iconic coin. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, the design has remained largely unchanged, featuring a profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. However, there have been variations in the minting process, and that's where things get interesting. The 1987 Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's important to note that this year had one key characteristic: the mint mark. Philadelphia was known for minting coins without a mint mark in some years, but in 1987, the P Mint mark was used to indicate that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. If you're a collector, you'll know that coins from the Philadelphia Mint, especially from certain years, can sometimes be harder to find, and that plays a role in the value of the coin. Now, let's talk about the condition of this coin. The term extra fine is used to describe a coin that shows some signs of wear, but still retains much of its original detail and luster. An extra fine coin typically has only minor imperfections, such as slight wear on high points like the eagle's wings or Washington's hair. These imperfections are noticeable, but they don't detract from the overall beauty of the coin. Coins in extra fine condition are highly desirable because they have maintained most of their visual appeal. When it comes to the 1987 Washington quarter, this level of condition is crucial in determining its value. A well-preserved, extra fine 1987 Washington quarter is much more sought after than one that's heavily worn or damaged. What makes the 1987 Washington quarters so valuable? The truth is, there are a few factors at play. First, the 1987 quarter is considered relatively rare, especially in extra fine condition. While millions of these coins were minted, finding them in exceptional shape is a challenge. Over time, as fewer and fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition, their rarity increases, and as with any collectible, rarity drives value. In today's market, an extra fine 1987 Washington quarter with the P Mint mark can fetch anywhere between $30,000 depending on its condition and the current market demand. The demand for rare coins like the 1987 Washington quarter is driven by collectors who are always on the lookout for pieces to complete their collections. These collectors tend to focus on specific years, mint marks, and conditions. With each passing year, as fewer coins in excellent condition are available, the value of those that remain continues to rise. For many coin enthusiasts, it's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the satisfaction of owning a piece of history, and the joy of holding a coin that few others have. The narrator faces the camera with a final shot of the 1987 Washington Quarter in extra fine condition on display. So, if you happen to have a 1987 Washington Quarter with the P mint mark in your collection or come across one in a coin shop, make sure to take a close look. You might be holding onto a rare piece of history that's worth more than its face value. Remember, the coin market can fluctuate, but the demand for well-preserved, rare coins like the 1987 Washington Quarter remains strong. Next up, the 1984 Washington Quarter dollar with a D mint mark. This coin, in excellent condition, is truly a gem in the eyes of collectors, and trust me, it has a pretty impressive value today. Stick around as we explore its history, rarity, and why this coin can bring in some serious cash. Before we dive into its value, let's first take a closer look at the 1984 Washington Quarter itself. This coin, minted in 1984, marks an important point in the history of the Washington Quarter series. It's part of the larger set that was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Now, the Washington Quarter has gone through several design changes over the years, but in 1984, the design remained largely the same as the one introduced in 1932. On the front, or obverse, you'll find the iconic bust of George Washington, facing left, designed by artist John Flanagan. This image has become synonymous with American coins. On the reverse, we see the majestic eagle, representing freedom and strength, perched with its wings spread wide. The inscription around the eagle reads, E pluribus unum mo modnum scelibum at mo emacu. Enter the code, dedicated to the U.S. Ministry and Office. S plure onum and United States of America, along with the coin's value, quarter dollar. But here's the catch, it's the mint mark that sets this coin apart. Speaking of mint marks, let's talk about the D mint mark. This means the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. In 1984, there were only two mints producing these quarters, the Denver Mint and the Philadelphia Mint. While both versions are valuable, the Denver minted coins can sometimes carry a slightly higher premium, especially if they are in excellent condition. But it's not just the mint mark that makes this coin rare, it's the condition and the market demand. When we say a coin is in excellent condition, we're talking about a coin that is well preserved, with minimal wear. This means the details on both the obverse and reverse are crisp and clear. The coin should show little to no signs of circulation. If you're lucky enough to find a 1984 Washington Quarter in this condition, you're looking at something special. In excellent condition, the coin's surfaces should be smooth, with no noticeable scratches, nicks, or discoloration. The shine, or luster, should still be present, giving it that beautiful, almost mint-fresh look. Now let's get to the fun part, the market value. The value of any coin can vary based on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and market demand. So, what makes the 1984 Washington Quarter, with the D mint mark in excellent condition, so valuable today? As of recent estimates, a 1984 Washington Quarter in excellent condition can range anywhere from $100,000. However, if you find one in near mint or mint state condition, it could fetch even more, potentially pushing the price upwards of $130,000 or more in some cases. Coins like this, especially when well preserved, are highly sought after by collectors who are looking to complete their Washington Quarter collections. The rarity of coins in such great condition, combined with the continued interest in Washington Quarters, makes this coin a potential investment. Now, I know what you're thinking. $150,000 might seem like a massive amount. But keep in mind, this is for a coin that is 40 years old. And when we look at coins from older years, especially those in excellent condition, their value can skyrocket into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1984 Washington Quarter is relatively young compared to some of the more famous rarities, but if you're lucky enough to find a truly pristine example, it could certainly increase in value over time. So, if you happen to come across a 1984 Washington Quarter with a D mint mark in excellent condition, what should you do next? First, make sure to preserve it properly. Keep it in a safe place and avoid handling it with bare hands to prevent damage. If you're looking to sell, consider getting it appraised by a professional coin dealer or taking it to a reputable auction house. Online marketplaces such as eBay or heritage auctions are also great places to find buyers for rare coins. Always check recent listings to get a good idea of the current market value and set a reasonable asking price. So, there you have it. The 1984 Washington quarter with a D mint mark is a rare coin with real market value, especially if you can find it in excellent condition. Next up, before we dive into the 1986 Washington quarter specifically, let's take a brief look at its history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by artist John Flanagan, this coin has been a staple of American currency for nearly a century. Over the years, the quarter has undergone various design changes, but the iconic portrait of Washington has remained a symbol of the nation's heritage. Now, let's focus on the 1986 Washington quarter. This coin was part of the regular issue from the U.S. Mint and was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P mint mark on the reverse. The 1986 quarter is a part of the standard design, meaning it does not feature any special commemorative themes or limited engravings. However, despite being a common year in terms of production, it has garnered attention from collectors due to its excellent craftsmanship and rising market value. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin in excellent condition is one that has minimal wear, crisp detailing, and no signs of corrosion or damage. For the 1986 Washington quarter, an excessive letter coin would show virtually no signs of wear on George Washington's portrait, and the lettering around the coin should be sharp and clear. The reverse featuring the eagle and the ahip inscriptions should also be bold. These fine details make it much more valuable in the market as collectors seek out well-preserved specimens for their collections. Though the 1986 Washington quarter isn't as rare as some other coins in the series, it has seen a steady increase in value due to its excellent condition. Many of the coins from the mid-80s were heavily circulated, and finding one in near-mint condition can be a challenge. Over time, collectors have become more interested in these high-quality specimens, which has led to the rarity of an excellent 1986 Washington quarter. As with most coins, condition and scarcity drive up the price. Footprints. So, what is the current market value of a 1986 Washington quarter in excellent condition? While a typical 1986 quarter in circulated condition may only be worth its face value $10,000, an excellent example can fetch anywhere from $90,000 depending on its grade and the specific marketplace. Rarely, some coins can even sell for more in highest auctions. What makes the 1986 Washington quarter so desirable? Several factors come into play. First, its excellent condition, as we discussed, is key. Second, the demand from collectors for well-preserved examples of circulating coins from the 1980s has been increasing. Third, the minting process during the 1980s saw large-scale production, meaning fewer coins were kept in mint condition. Finally, rarity plays a role. While the 1986 quarter itself isn't incredibly rare, finding one in excellent condition is not easy, and that's why collectors are willing to pay more for it. Finally, if you're interested in buying or selling a 1986 Washington quarter, you have a few options. You can check online auction sites like eBay, visit your local coin dealer, or attend coin shows to find potential buyers or sellers. Make sure to get your coin professionally graded to ensure you're getting the right value and to help with resale potential. It's also important to do your research before making any big purchases, as there are many coins out there that may appear valuable but aren't as rare as they seem. To sum it up, the 1986 Washington quarter with the P mint mark is a hidden gem for collectors, especially those who are looking for coins in excellent condition. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a beginner just starting your collection, this coin offers a fantastic opportunity to own a rare and valuable piece of US history. If you have one in your collection, make sure to check its condition and get it appraised. You could be sitting on a small treasure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.